So this is just a project about what's happening now for music at St. James. So it's supposed to be connected to how it fosters community and how it encourages a relationship with God, both for you and the congregation. So I was just going to ask more broadly how you choose the repertoire that you do every Sunday. Do you base it off of the theme of the sermon? Do you think about having contrasting pieces, or should they be more similar, both the hymns and the offertories? And for the offertories, if they're commonly in, or sometimes in French, because the one last week was in French, and how that works.
So first, thank you very much for thinking about us. How did you decide to come visit St. James?
Well, my mom grew up in Montreal, and I was asking her for churches suggestions that I could go visit, and this was the second one that she told me to come to. And like a generation ago, my grandfather, whenever he wanted fancier music, because he loved the organ, he would leave the church he would regularly go to, and sometimes he would come here.
Okay. What was your grandfather's name?
His name was Adamo Favasoli.
Okay. So the music ministry of St. James has always been important to the community. I'm here since September 2021. This is when I became both music director and organist, because before me, those positions were occupied by two different people. So one of the first things I did is rebrand the traditional summer organ concert series. Mm-hmm. It carries the name Musorg presently. It is a series which, from what I can tell, is unique in Canada. I've taken notes to prepare for our meeting. Make sure I don't speak stupid things or repeat too much. So in short, Musorg aims to promote Canadian music. It is presented by St. James on Sunday afternoons during the summer. This way, we have a lot of audience members who would not normally attend an organ concert, but who see the open door, who hear some music and decide to come in. And these people are frequently our most enthusiastic audience. So I request from every performer, well, request is a kind way of putting it, I demand 50% Canadian content, 50% content written by women, and at least one composer should be alive at the time the concert is announced. Of course, being the nice lady that I am, if the person decides to die, it's okay, we'll still play their music. And I'm touched by the positive way this has been received, especially by colleagues who take this as an opportunity to learn more Canadian content. I have scheduled Musorg until and including 2025 already, with people also coming from different cities, and one even coming from Italy, who has included us in his tour. So this is the kind of outreach ministry that helps us help shine our content, our music meaning Canadian music, because we are the United Church of Canada. And if we don't promote our sacred music and the organs in our churches, nobody is going to do it for us. We have also different types of events that encourage people to come and discover St. James, like a series of shows during the Nuit Blanche, when many institutions, museums, and concert halls have their doors open and have free events for the public. We do that too, to different community groups who normally would not have the budget to rent St. James. But in the Nuit Blanche, I schedule everyone I can, 40 or 45-minute shows, one after the other. And there are lots of volunteers who help make this happen. And this is a way for people to also come inside St. James, discover the stained glass windows, the history of the community, and the two organs. There are two organs downstairs. And have a way for community groups to shine on a larger stage, which normally they wouldn't have the chance to. So on Sundays, there are different people downtown than on regular working days. So we have yet a third type of outreach, which includes mini concerts before the service. The service is at 11. And though it's not always expected, people are awake by 10 o'clock. And I invite everyone to come with their morning coffee. Not many people live downtown, but some do. And also some people come to work or decide to come a bit earlier for the service and attend a mini concert between 10 and 10:45 before the Sunday service. And again, it's various interpreters, singers, and instrumentalists who want to share their music. And again, it's a free event. We don't charge tickets for any events. That's part of the outreach. There was a lot of thought going into this. First, I have been an opera conductor for 4 years, operetta conductor. And I've also conducted the Italian Choir of Montreal at Maria Ausiliatrice. Now, selling tickets can never help pay the bills more than 1/3, even at the larger professional institutions that they need government funding and private sponsors to survive. We are only a handful of people who work here. We don't have the logistical capacity to set up a website, sell tickets, and try to sell tickets and promote selling tickets. We ask for donations at the door. People tend to be generous as much as they can. But also by not having tickets, we make our events and our space accessible to people who cannot afford them. And for me, this is very important. Music is extremely expensive endeavor. I know how many years of lessons I took, all kinds of lessons that I took, piano composition, organ. If I need to sell tickets to pay off my concerts, I don't know how many people can make it. But music is expensive, so we invest in it. And by investing in it, we invest in the community that franchir our doors. I actually had prepared to talk in French. So I speak less eloquently than I could have.
My mom speaks French, so if you switch over,
yes, she'll translate.
I'll have her help me.
Now, with respect to the worship styles, I request 2 different styles from each singer who comes to sing. The hymns are chosen by the pastor because the hymns illustrate the sermon. The anthems are related to the general theme of the week as indicated in our worship guides. But the anthems are more general. The hymns really illustrate the sermon, so of course the pastor chooses them. The anthems, I ask the singer to send me a couple of choices in advance, and between those 4 or 5 choices, I select the 2 or the 3 that I feel illustrate the theme best. I say 2 or 3 because we have 3 when we have Communion Sunday, first Sunday of every month. Otherwise, we have 2 anthems. The solo organ pieces, again, I try to go for different styles. But this has more to do with music availability and time to practice, because some pieces are written for specific occasions, but a lot of organ repertoire is music that can serve very different occasions. A solemn piece is a solemn piece, regardless of the solemn occasion. Personally, I promote a lot of living composers. I have done a number of premieres here, works by Matthew Lane, Ben Kepesh, more recently Miguel Labe. Now for Black History Month, I'll play a piece by Florence Price, 2 pieces actually. This coming Sunday, he's no longer alive, but still very good, genius even. Andre Crouch. I'm singing 5 songs by Andre Crouch. Again, looking for different styles. Now, the thing with diversity, it's very important to know that diversity means that nobody will like everything. Like everyone will like 1 or 2 things and will not like 3 or 4 things. And this is how it should be. Now, if everyone likes everything, now this means the music is like a doormat. Nobody minds a doormat. Everyone accepts it, but you will not think twice about it. So we don't want to be a doormat. We make a statement. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, well, next time, come again. So in a service, we have already had a living composer, a classical piece, a jazz piece, and a pop piece, all in one service. Now, I don't necessarily look for a certain style, but I do look for quality, because a bad pop piece doesn't do pop music any favors. A bad classical piece doesn't do classical music any favors. So the piece has to be well written and well executed in the style it is, and then we have to do it justice. And in short, this is the way the music ministry operates now. We do not have a parish choir. The parish choir did exist before my arrival. Actually, it wasn't a parish choir per se. There were professional singers involved, hired singers, and it's wonderful that the church was giving work and opportunities to a number of people. But before my arrival, the worship team had taken the decision to try something else. We have choirs that come, different choirs, again, that sing different styles, and we have an exchange system in place where choirs can rehearse here on Monday nights in exchange to singing 4 services a year. This means the 3 anthems, or the 2 anthems, and the hymns. Again, this is a way of keeping the doors open for community groups that would not normally be able to afford to rent a rehearsal space here, and also to present them to the larger community, a performance opportunity, and introduce the values of the United Church to them.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the preludes and postludes, how does that work? Because those are your students, right?
Well, you came on the one Sunday that for the first time I allowed them to play in public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even more special.
Yes. 24 years ago, my teacher at the time allowed me to play the prelude, to play the postlude at Mars Chapel at Boston University. And I played Bach's Little Fugue in G minor. This was the first piece I played in public. So last Sunday, I gave the tribune to my students. One is 15, one is 17. They have been taking lessons since September. They're extremely talented. It is the Mihanda Lulumbu family, and I believe the future of music is in good hands. At their age, I had not played an organ, I had not seen an organ. So I was extremely inspired and very happy that you chose exactly this Sunday to come. But it is usually I who plays the prelude and postlude. Sometimes with members of the community. We have very involved amateur musicians who are members of the community. They play different instruments, flute, sousaphone, tuba, and every now and then they feel comfortable and prepared to present a piece. And this enriches the worship in a different way. We let the community members shine. We also have a singer, more than one singer actually. So,
yeah. And that's for the preludes and such, or for all?
For all.
All.
Yeah.
Wonderful. more to the religious side of things, do you consider this to be you doing what God meant for you? Like, this is your path. This is what God intended for you to do, to like spread His word and such. Do you believe
that's
that?
really pretentious. I'm not going to go there. Like that God intended me. Oh no, that kind of pretentious. I know people who speak like this, but I hope that what I do inspires other people who are maybe more, I don't know, extroverted, or who are competent, or passionate about, because this is missionary work. I'm not sure that I know what missionary work would entail with what I do. But I believe my role is to facilitate that others do missionary work. But,
Yes, my apologies. I meant it more on a personal level. If you feel like this spiritual, religious fulfillment from your work, not necessarily like missionary.
Oh, most definitely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. I think music, and church music in particular, that's a vocation. And this is why there are so few of us. Just like with any highly specialized vocation. I mean, there are not many pastors running around in the United Churches, not many church musicians. So, yeah.
And you mentioned that there are 2 organs. Where's the...
Oh, the
the
second
other
one
one?
is tiny. You haven't seen it, but I'll show you when we go back downstairs.
Is it on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And what's on the left?
The other one, there is the piano,
That's
the
the
grand piano on the left, the little organ on the right, and the big organ in the center.
Okay, my church has
Yeah.
like medium-sized organs.
Okay.
So.
Which one is your church?
Well, it's in Florida, so it's a Presbyterian church.
Okay.
So I'm comparing. I'm not going to compare
Yeah.
it in the research, but in my head I'm comparing. So we have 3 hymns and only 1 anthem, so it's interesting to see how musically oriented these services are.
Yeah, well, it helps to have me on board. And I don't say it to brag, just that you need a professional musician to provide 2 different anthems and 2 different solo works week after week after week. So not all churches have that. Many churches have semi-professional musicians or amateur musicians who do their best, but you cannot expect them to have different repertoire every week. In many churches, you repeat the anthem for the entire month, and there is beauty in that too, because every time you discover something new in it. But part of the reason it's musically oriented is because they have decided to invest in the presence of a professional musician as part of the worship team. So.
And the organ is very, very large. Would you say that there's some kind of symbolism to it in terms of the architecture of the church? Because it really seems to be at the center of the whole sanctuary space.
Well, this was a Lutheran church before. In Protestant churches, the organ is generally at the front. It leads the congregational singing better. In Catholic churches, the organ is up in the jubé, in the back. There is a very big delay, and it's not as great in congregational singing. With the organ, with the organ in the front, even if there is no singer, no microphone and everything, the congregation can follow the organ better in the hymns. And nowadays, if you go into a Catholic church, there is a complicated system with mics and haut-parleur, the object through which the sound comes out, to combat the delay, because the larger the church, the more delay there is. Just as with mostly all churches, the organ is conceived for the space. It has been integrated there since the very beginning of the church in 1889. The organ was completed with the church. So yes, of course, it is integrated in the architecture and the concept from the very beginning. And it inherits the Lutheran tradition of, was it Lutheran or was it Methodist? I made a mistake. I think it's a Methodist church before. Methodist church. So yeah, it was integrated in the design and architecture from the very beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Almost 6,000 pipes.
6,000?
Mm-hmm. Tuning takes a long time.
I have, you know,
Yeah, 2 days
I'll Google
sometimes.
how
Yeah.
that works. That's very interesting.
Well, you have at least 2 people. One person holds the note, and the other is upstairs in the pipe and tunes the pipe, adjusts the pipe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that expensive?
Very. Thousands of dollars.
How often would
Twice a year. When you turn the heat on, you wait 2 weeks, it settles. Then you call. And when you turn the heat off, you wait 2 weeks, it settles, you call.
Wow. And if my memory serves, during the sermon you still stayed on stage, right? I think so.
Where else would I go?
Okay, because at mine everyone sits down.
Oh,
in
I
the
was
pews.
I was sitting down.
Yes, in the pews though, or on
No, on the organ.
On the organ,
I
yeah.
was practicing on mute keys, what would come after. Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna ask about how the congregation, like them singing together.
They sing very well. Yeah. They sing very well. I mean, my predecessors have done an amazing job. Yeah. Good job. They sing, and they learn very well too. We are now one of the ambassadors for the hymnal that's being developed now. It's called Then Let Us Sing. Mm-hmm. So a couple of Sundays, I was sitting at the piano. We pushed the piano to the middle and then we tried the new songs. I would sing a bit, they would repeat after me. At the end, we would do the whole song. And I taught them no fewer than 4 songs for one service. And they were singing. Yeah.
It's amazing. I heard a little bit about it over
it
on
was
Sunday.
It was great. Yeah. They really can sing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you can't sing, you learn by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I told my 15-year-old student now. Mm-hmm. You learn a job by doing the job. Yeah.
And the hall is very large, so
2,000.
the individual voices that you can, I assume they don't resonate like that.
Oh, the acoustic is great.
Yeah.
You should try singing. Everything is heard.
Really?
It's so well done. Oh, people know how to do it. So even though the congregation is much smaller than what the church can handle, you can hear them singing and they can hear themselves singing. That's important because in some churches where I've been, you sing, but you don't hear yourself singing. Mm-hmm. It's like you're in an enclosed space. The people hear you very well, but you have no auditory feedback. Whereas here it's so well done. Mm-hmm. You really have auditory feedback.
And if you had anything to add about how singing is perhaps more meaningful or a different kind of meaningful and special from reciting verses and spoken things.
The way St. Augustine says, singing is praying twice. So,
yeah.
But also a lot of songs developed as a narration, like the epos, the Greek epos that developed as an in-tone narration. That's also a way to memorize things better when you sing them. So, 2 reasons to sing.
And what makes a service, the music of a service, what makes it successful? What makes a good service for you? Or what is the end product that you are always reaching for?
Oh, these are 2 different questions. So if the music touched even one soul, it's successful. But with respect to me personally, the second one service is finished, I'm already thinking of the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they plan 3 or 4 times in advance, but the time Sunday comes, in my head, it has passed at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, the church has. This church is 1887, I believe, started, but it is not the first church of the congregation. The congregation is 1803. It had other churches in town before this one was built. And it was always a safe haven for church music and sacred arts. Of course, we have stained glass windows here as well. And there is a lot of interreligious work done together with our partners from the Montreal City Mission. And if anyone listens to this YouTube video until the end, please consider coming to visit us. 463 St. Catherine West. Services are at 11 a.m. So.
Very good.